my kombucha. Yes, my hands are clean. This is sweet tea. It's a little quart pan, and that's better. And it's very, very dark. I put 8 tea bags in that little quart and a cup of sugar. So I'm going to feed my kombucha here, and I'm going to empty it. I like these juice bottles. I save these. They're a good size. So I like to put it in that. Now I cover this with a towel to keep it dark. And I also have a coffee filter under there to keep the little critters out, because I don't want protein in my kombucha. That's gross. So this is what my SCOBY looks like. See, there's 3 of them there. They're nice and big. I'll probably take these 2 out. And this is what it looks like. It's nice and healthy. So I'm going to bottle this. Now I cover this little spout because once I did get fruit flies in there, but not when I covered it with the coffee filter. I just had the towel on top. I don't know how it happened, but it did. So the only thing I could think of is maybe they got in through that somehow. But anyway, this is all I do to bottle my kombucha. I opened the spigot, and I got this at Walmart. It was like $5, $6. And I usually get 2 of these. I believe these are quarts. I don't know how many ounces are in there when I get the juice. But I usually let this ferment about 10 days, but you can taste it earlier, anywhere from 5 to 10 to 14 days. It depends on how sweet or tart you like it. But I found that 10 days is pretty good for me. So that's 1 bottle. There we go. And then I put it in the refrigerator, or you can put fruit in it now, or sometimes I put a flavored tea bag in there just to give it a different flavor. But I don't use herbal tea in the first ferment. I personally like black tea, but you can do green tea. And if you go on some of the kombucha sites, I have a whole kombucha Bible. It'll tell you which teas you can and cannot use. You can't use every tea. So I'm going to go get another bottle, because this was poor planning on my part, and I'll be right back. This is the bottle that I usually buy, and you can get these at Aldi's. I'm not sure if they're seasonal or not, but it's 100% black cherry juice. And sometimes I'll add this to my kombucha, and it gives it a really good taste. And I didn't have another one of these bottles. So I had one of these that I bought this in Florida. And it's empty, so I'm going to use that. It's just a little jug. So I'm going to add some of this cherry juice. Hopefully I can get it open. Aha! Good job! And I'm going to add some of that into my little jug here. Hopefully I won't spill it. Not much, maybe 3/4 of a cup. Don't need much. And I'm going to fill up the rest. You want to leave about this much of the kombucha left in here so it'll ferment some more. But you can drink this plain too, and it's delicious. And it's so easy to make, and it's so expensive to buy. You can get the SCOBYs online. I got my original one on Amazon, and then you just grow your own, because you see how big they get. And they're very dense, and when I get too many, I grind these up in my little food grinder, and I make dog treats out of them. I add other ingredients like pumpkin and flour, and the last time I made them, the dogs loved them. So, I'm almost there, and I think I'm going to call that good. And sometimes the little bits of yeast will get plugged up in your spigot, and it kind of slows down a little bit. You want to make sure that you get a good sturdy bottle. You don't want a wimpy bottle, because this will continue to ferment. And now this is the anaerobic phase of it. This is the aerobic phase, because it gets air. When you seal it off, it builds the CO2 in there. So you can leave this out for maybe a week. Keep an eye on it, and it should get a little more fizzy. Sometimes mine does and sometimes it doesn't, but it does have a little prickly feeling on the tongue. So I'm going to call that good, and as far as that goes. And now I'm going to pour, actually, see a little fruit fly buzzing around the bananas here, so I'm just going to stick that on there, and I'm going to get my SCOBY Hotel so I can put a couple of these SCOBYs in there. So, sorry, I should have turned that off. Anyway, here's my SCOBY Hotel. There isn't a whole lot of liquid in there. So I'm going to add a little tiny bit of this tea and a little bit of the kombucha. But I do want to, and you have to have very clean hands to do this. So I want to take off a couple layers of this. And actually, there's a lot of layers in here. It's way more than what you think. So I have one. And really, you only need, when they send you a SCOBY from Amazon, they're really small. And they really kind of grow to the size of the container. There's two. And they look kind of gross, but that's the way they're supposed to look. There's three. And I'm going to leave this in there. And this is yeast. This brown stuff, this is yeast. So that's good probiotics in there. So I'm going to add my tea in there now. Put this on here because I don't want that fruit fly getting in there. So all of it in there. Oh, this little fruit fly from the banana is just going crazy here. I want to keep it out of here. So now I'm going to add water. Put in the tea full strength. And then here I have filtered water. You don't want to use tap water, you want to use some nice clean water. And I'm going to have to filter some more water. But anyway, you get the idea. I usually cover it up to about here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this new kombucha in with my SCOBY Hotel. So that's it, my friends. That's how easy peasy it is to make your own kombucha. Okay, I'm just going to fill this up and show you how far I fill it. Now you don't want to put any juice in it yet, not at this stage. Now the SCOBYs, some of them will float and some of them won't. Either way is fine. It doesn't hurt anything. So I'm going to cover this puppy up before my little friends get in there. And there we have that. Now I'm going to just give this SCOBY Hotel a little food too, because there's a lot of SCOBYs in there. And I'm going to be getting ready to make dog biscuits out of it. So, and I will probably make a video of that too. So you don't need to put a whole lot in, just enough to cover it. Cover the top a little bit. And back on there it goes. So, but, you know, give it a try. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to do. Now, you may get fruit flies, because anything that's fermenting will bring fruit flies. But if you do, you can put a little bit of the kombucha in a little cup. Now, this one I've had for a while. I showed this on a previous video. And you can put kombucha in there, you can put wine in there. They like apple cider vinegar, and you just poke little tiny holes around the middle. You don't want to make them so big that they can get back out. And I don't know if you can see, there's a few floaters in there. But anyway, that'll catch the fruit flies for you. It works real well. And I'm just going to cover this little spout back up, and I have just a little rubber band and some saran wrap, and that's all there is to it. So my kombucha and my SCOBY Hotel, and you want to put this, I cover this, I put this in my dining room underneath a shelf where it's kind of dark. And I cover this, and I kind of put it over this too, just to keep the sun out. So that's it. That's it on the kombucha, and it's good. Another thing you can do if you don't like it as tart, when you go to drink it, you can mix it with some juice if you like. I do that sometimes, especially if it gets a little too tart. And if it does get too tart, you can use this as a vinegar too. It makes great salad dressings and things like that. Okay, my friends, that's all I have for you. I can never remember where to look, but you know, so many YouTubers are always looking off into space somewhere. But if you find where your camera lens is, now mine is way in the corner, and if you look at that little lens, the dot, and it's not exactly where the lens is in the back, it's kind of, mine is off to the side a little bit. So find that little dot that looks like a lens, and that's where you look. So, okay, my friends, that's all I have this evening, and I'll see you next time. Oh, abundant blessings to you before I go, and I love you guys. I'm going to come back real quick. I forgot to mention something. Like I said, there is a cup of sugar in this, and it's very sweet. It's a sweet tea, but the microorganisms that are in here, they eat the sugar. So when this is done, there's actually very little sugar in it. So don't worry that you're getting a ton of sugar, because you're not. But if you do buy kombucha, you can save the little bottles that you get it in and reuse those. I do that too, but I've found putting it in a bigger bottle is more convenient for me. So that's all I have. I just wanted to tell you that, you know, not to worry about all that sugar that's in here, because that's their fuel and their food. So, and then they give us goodies in return. Okay, I'm going now. Bye.